you're out in Nashville now.
I
How did
am in Nashville.
yeah, how did you find that as a home?
I moved here when I was 16 years old. I moved here a bit ago. I think like 12 or 13 years now. I don't know math. We're not going to do math while sick, but it's been a second. I moved here from Houston and I didn't actually know I was moving here when I moved here. I just kind of came here to write for a month and then I just never left. And it's become home. And now my whole family lives here.
How did you start this whole music life?
Well, I grew up around a lot of music. My grandfather was the chairman of the Houston Opera and instrumental in saving the symphony and the ballet. And I grew up around all these like, classical art forms and then did like choir and continued with opera, growing up. And then started writing music around 16 when I moved here. And there was just never not the option of doing this. Like this was just what I decided I was going to do from the time I was little. The first time I played a piano, it was just like, this is what I'm going to be. There's no other anything.
Right.
So
That's really
here we
cool.
are.
Yeah, here we
Here
are.
we are.
So you're a singer, a songwriter, you're really a performer too. I mean, you go out there and your show, respectfully, I want to say it reminds me of like a Pink show.
Thank
Um,
you.
you're out there, you're entertaining the audience, you have the whole garb going on, a different look, a whole vibe. I mean, it's really cool. How did you get into, I want to say it's like a darker type of vibe.
Um, what did you say it's like?
I said it's like a darker type of vibe. Is that
What does
accurate?
that mean? Sorry, I'm like,
Darker, you're
I want to answer you wrong.
no, that's fine. All right, let's reword it. What kind of vibe are you giving off when you're up there? How do you like to look at your shows?
I mean, every show it changes. We hand make all of the show outfits for each show. Every show has a new look typically. But it's all within my universe. I think it's mixing like old fashions like from like Victorian times with like new modern twists to them, like putting something like the previous outfit I wore at the last show was like a corset with a hip cage, but we had ripped tights with it. And like I've always described my aesthetic as like smashed chandeliers or like, like that really old school classic vibe with like the rock and roll edge. So that's typically what
Yeah,
what I think inspires it.
I don't know that I'd describe it as dark, but I would say it's edgy artistry, and I love the
Yeah,
production value that you put into it.
thank you. Yeah, we're a big old production house here. I mean, from doing all the music video productions and set designs and costuming, it's like a big crazy creative warehouse over here.
And you're wearing so many different hats. Um, when I mean, in order to be up there and performing, I guess everyone's an actress to a degree or an actor
Mhm.
when you're performing on stage, but you take it to a different level, and I love that.
I think it's just being so all consumed with this work and everything that's in this. I am just a little bit crazy and a little bit dark. So that's just true authenticity there.
Do you do all the videos yourself, and how do you come up with the ideas for the videos?
I do. That one is actually a promo video for Lion's Den. I'm color grading the final music video that's about to come out soon. But the visual side of it is one of my favorite parts of creating this. Has been one of my favorite parts of creating this album because I typically write video treatments or video ideas at the same time I'm writing the music, and so it feels like the songs are not done until they have their visual counterpart. But because of that, I mean, this project's taken 13 years to bring to market because of how much time I spend building everything and making all the costumes and making the sets. And like, I do everything from writing the conceptual treatments to directing, producing, editing, building things, color grading, like all of that. So it's a lot more work and a lot more time, but it's super fun. And now I'm spoiled. Now every song on this album has a music video and is going to have a music video. So there's 5 that are already out, and then I'm in the edit process of 3, and then we're about to film the last final 5. That'll all be out before the end of the year.
That's fun. You can tell you're having fun. Your energy when you're on stage and in the videos is just off the charts.
Thank you. It is fun. It's the most fun. I feel like I get to be a big kid most of the time. That's kind of how I've designed my life, is just play all the time. It's hard work though. I am not saying it is not hard work. I work real hard. I mean, these videos are, especially the videos are blood, sweat, and tears, literally.
You know, one of the things you say, you designed your life that way, and that's a pretty interesting way to look at it, and to keep that focused and driven. How do you do that?
Well, after my plane crash, which is what this whole album is about, I think I just decided that I wanted to never waste any days and to live life to the most fullest potential that I could possibly think of. And right by my bed, I have this dry erase board that says, "You only live this day once." And I think I remind myself of that constantly, because I'm like, if I can only have this one day, this one shot at doing all the things that I'm doing, like, how can I put 100% of myself into it? And like, I mean, I'm independent. I don't have like big budgets or anything I'm working with. So typically when I'm writing, especially like a music video treatment, I can't think about how am I going to pull this off when I'm writing it, or the ideas wouldn't feel as big and limitless as they do. I just write the ideas and then I figure it out after the fact. And it's a lot more of like just trying to learn skills and like surround myself with cool people that can help me execute the visions that come up in my brain.
Nice. That's one of my questions. You had said something about the plane crash. So a while ago, you wrote a song called Crash Landing.
Yes.
And then years later, you were actually in a plane that crashed.
It was actually only a few months later.
Oh my God.
It
That's
was
crazy.
it's a pretty immediate turnaround from the universe on that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, did you have some kind of a premonition or anything, or was that just a coincidence?
I feel like the song itself is maybe a bit of a premonition. I When I write music, I don't really go in typically with like a preconceived idea that I'm like this. I didn't go in that day being like I really want to write a song about a plane crash, and it was actually a song that we just really wrote in kind of like the flow state, and then we didn't really know what it was about, and we thought it was really cool, and then a couple months later, it got all of its meaning from that experience. A lot of this project and a lot of the ways that I create in general are kind of just creating like immediately what I'm inspired by and kind of creating in that flow state. And then sometimes it takes me years to look back on my work and be like, oh, that's what I was talking about. This was going on in my life. And I was like subconsciously creating about that. Or like, I love kind of back analyzing my work because I don't always go into it with like an intense amount of intention. But I think that's why it is so detailed and so tied to me, because it is just like expression of my spirit and my thoughts.
Yeah. Another thing I found pretty interesting is in your videos and in your music and lyrics, there's a lot of like hidden gems. There's a lot of hidden messages. And you're doing that on purpose. It's actually, you're doing it kind of for the fun aspect for the listeners to say, oh, I found this. Is this what you meant? Is that what you meant? What kind of things do you put in there and how do you come up with those?
There are a lot of things in this album that are hidden or like Easter eggs, especially in the videos. As you'll see from the ones that I'm about to film and the ones I'm finishing up, the props and costumes and stuff are upcycled and changed and hidden in different ways, because the whole series is supposed to feel like it's either a fever dream or I'm immortal or I'm time traveling or it's like flashing before my eyes. You can interpret it in many ways. But I wanted to keep common, consistent threads. One, because the whole album is about trauma healing, and I think healing trauma is a very like non-linear path. It's never the same for everybody, and so it can be kind of mixed and matched or interpreted in different ways. But there's common threads that run through everything. And sonically, there are things hidden. There are some lyrics that are hidden in a couple of songs. The interlude track is actually pieces of In the Dark that are chopped and screwed, and I don't know, there's a lot of little secrets in there. But I think it just comes from wanting to make this feel like a big puzzle. But I think sometimes even I don't know all the things I've done and hidden until later on. I'm still finding new things in this work. I feel like to me, it feels like it's like a living, breathing entity, but I've lived with it for 13 years and it's new to everybody else. And so it's just been like adding things and, sprinkling things in after living with it for so long and being like, oh, I know this project so well. Like, what if I brought this into one of these next videos? And it's just, I don't know, this album is like my weird friend.
Yeah.
That's
No,
pretty
it's
cool.
so fun. I mean, when is the album out?
It came out 2 months ago.
Okay.
August 25th is when it
Okay,
came
so
out.
it's a new release, and people can buy that on any major platform, Spotify, Amazon, all that. And they can go
Yeah.
to your website, AnastasiaElliott.com, and check out all your things. You got a huge, I love it. You got a huge merch store.
Yeah, we do. I love designing new merch. I just uploaded a new T-shirt up there that's the Kool-Aid Man for the Purple Cult, and it's one of my favorites.
Cool. You mentioned the Purple Cult. The Purple Cult is the people that you are in this whole music thing with. And if I'm correct, one of the articles I read, you claim that you're not the leader of it. You just want to be part of it, and that you're the one that's able to bring everyone the music. Is that?
Yeah, I think it's really about community building and creating a community of creative people that want to support each other. And I think the Purple and the whole message of Purple is the true leader of it. It's not a weird, cult thing where I want people to worship me by any means. I mean, if they want to, they go ahead. But it's not the purpose of it. It is to build community around things like creativity and authenticity and like help support each other, because being a creative, especially in this day and age, is not an easy feat. It's a very brave thing to do.
You mentioned building community and you mentioned supporting, and one of the things I find fascinating, and it must come out of the fact that you went through your own trauma, and now you're doing that for schools, you're doing that in the community as well, and all from what you went through.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I always say that I would never trade any of the dark experiences that I went through for anything in the world, including the plane crash and losing my record deal and losing my voice for 75 days right after I cut this album. And there's so many like crazy things that happened to me in the process of making this project. But if I didn't have all of those things, I wouldn't have made the art. And so I teach a lot and talk a lot about how you can like alchemize those really dark low times into what makes you gold and unique, and you can use it to create and to heal yourself. And I think when you create art that's inspired by something traumatic, it's like it makes it worth it in a weird way. Like it gives you something to share and something for people to connect with you on.
When you do go into the schools, do you bring a production value of that for the way you teach? Is it very similar to your art? Do you approach it that way?
No, I think it's very calm. It's very chill. It's got to be more approachable so students will actually talk to me.
Well, I'm sure you've seen it coming out of COVID. I think the kids in schools in particular need that help and need some guidance about how to go through that process. Where they may not have needed it as much before. It's really something that I think you're doing is great for the kids now.
Absolutely. I would love to do more of it. So it definitely I didn't expect, like when I started, for that to be something that I loved so much, but I really do. It's one of my favorite things.
Cool. Excellent. We talked about Lion's Den earlier, which is one of your songs, and you have a video out. And I'm going to ask all of our listeners to go to YouTube and check out the video. It's awesome. But let's play Lion's Den right now. So here is Anastasia Elliott with Lion's Den.
Words sharp as knives hide from my eyes. You think that can't be tamed, and I break out of every cage. Hey, screaming out in the lion's den tonight. Hey, I'm alive, I've been ready for a fight. Hear the voices crying out. Hey, can't take me down, I'm in the lion's den tonight. Sticks can't beat stones up to the throne. You can kill for royalty, but no crown could make you king. So made of gold, blood spilling cold. I'll be hunting with my pride. Hunger can't be satisfied. I'm a beast, can't turn back. Watch me lead an attack. I'm a savage that can't be tamed, and I break out of every cage. Hey, screaming out in the lion's den tonight. Hey, I'm alive, I've been ready for a fight. Hear the voices crying out. Hey, can't take me down, I'm in the lion's den tonight. I'm a beast, can't turn back. Watch me lead an attack. I'm a beast, can't turn back. Watch me lead an attack. Hey, screaming out in the lion's den tonight. Hey, I'm alive, I've been ready for a fight. Hear the voices crying out. Hey, can't take me down, I'm in the lion's den tonight.
Anastasia, tell us about Lion's Den.
All right, Lion's Den is near a little past the midpoint of the record, and the song is really about anger, and it's about not giving in to anger and kind of taking a place of emotional intelligence over reactive anger, and that's like gonna win every time. I think for me, when I was recovering from the plane crash, I really struggled with wanting to be angry about it and like not knowing what to do with that emotion. And instead I leaned super hard into different types of therapy and kind of found better methods than being angry, and found a lot more power in it. So it's really a song that's meant to empower people to kind of take control of their own self and their emotions. And I think that you'll win every time in the Lion's Den if you do that.
Raw.
That's what it's about. And
Awesome.
then, of course, when I was creating the character, though, for the music video, she had to be a crazy ringmaster who kidnaps pilots and eats them. So the music video that I'm finishing editing right now is all about my weird circus den and the pilots that I eat there.
Hence my little dark comment earlier, but anyway.
Oh, you're so right.
I'm-
I forgot I was talking to a true Bostonian accent there.
Oh, that's what it was. You couldn't understand what I
It
was
was.
saying. All
It
right.
was because I realized it about 5 minutes later and I was like, you dummy.
I was embarrassed for a second. I'm like, oh, foot in the mouth
No,
again, because
me.
Mark will
It's
tell
me.
you I put my foot in my mouth every now and then.
No, it's me. You are so right. I absolutely am dark. And I love Boston. I've spent a lot of time there. I actually had my vocal surgery in Boston and wound up staying there for like a couple months when I was silent.
Character that you're creating. When you talked about, a little crazy and eats the pilots, is there a little subconscious thing about not trusting pilots now, or after the plane crash, is that built in there?
Completely conscious, not subconscious at all. I mean, my plane crash was pilot error. It was a Southwest flight, and it was pilot error. So you're supposed to land back wheels to front, and she came in too fast and took over too late from the co-captain, and apparently had a lot of anger issues and a lot of other stuff that came out later. But she landed the front wheels in too hard and crushed them into the plane. So we like came in and hit and bounced and slid 2,000 feet and caught on fire. And I think that's like the most wild part of flying again and of like trying to trust is that you really, yes, it's generally a very safe thing, but you are in another person's hands. And so it's a, yeah, you just hope they have a good day. Now when I get on planes, I'm like extra nice. I'm like, are you having a good day today? Like, ready to fly this plane? You ready to land this plane?
So on YouTube, you have a big presence on YouTube, and you have over 1 million views. The day you
Yeah,
woke
we're
up,
close to now.
2 million. The day you
Mhm.
woke up and you saw that it was 1,000,001 views, what did that feel like?
I actually didn't know. I don't really check my numbers. I actually really stay away from that. Other people check them for me. But I was surprised when I realized it was almost two because I had to look up my numbers and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. And then I've been saying this whole time that my streaming numbers are around like 400,000, but I'm actually at like 1 million and it's more than double what I thought. And so then I actually had this realization like yesterday or the day before. I was like, oh my gosh, like 3 million people roughly have consumed something that I've created. And like, that's the coolest thing in the world. And I think sometimes, like, I stay away from numbers a lot because I think it's really easy to have numbers that are actually pretty decent, but they don't feel decent because of what society has like done to publicizing, I think, streaming numbers and stuff. And that it's like, you can have a really successful release and it not feel successful. And so it just doesn't do good for my mental health. But this album release within the first 12 hours, which I was not expecting at all, the album had like 7,000 streams and it didn't come from any sort of, I mean, I'm not a huge TikToker. I'm not like doing anything wild like that. So that was just pure like organic listens. And it was amazing to see how many people were actually listening to me and listening to it as an album from top to bottom as it's intended to be listened to. Because I didn't know, as in this singles culture, if people really would listen to it as a complete record. And that number was like exciting for me. But the next day I went to a Ghost concert and it was sold out. And I asked my boyfriend, I was like, how many people do you think that this venue holds? And he was like, I don't know. And I looked it up and it was like the exact number that of people that had streamed my record. And so I got to like look around and see like real people, like what 7,000 real people looks like. And I was like, oh my God, like this many people have listened to my album in the past 24 hours. Like that is the coolest thing ever. And I'll never forget that moment because, 7,000 may not seem like the biggest number in the world to someone in the music industry, but when I got to see just how many like breathing bodies that was, I was like,
Oh.
that's a lot of people that like chose to listen to it. And like, how cool is that? So then when I'm like 3 million people have like listened to something I've done on plenty of days where I'm like, I'm not doing enough. I'm not TikToking enough. I'm not growing this enough at a quick enough pace. Like I just have to, I remind myself of things like that.
When you put together an album, there's a special order that you put the songs. Does it tell a story, or why did you put the songs in the order that you did in the album?
Yeah, it does tell a story. Like I said, it can be listened to out of order just fine, but it's definitely meant to be digested from top to bottom. I think sonically, I went for kind of a roller coaster type of feel where there's moments of the record that lean a little bit more pop and they're a little bit more positive sounding, or I don't know, they just have like a happy shine to them. And then midway through the album, it kind of takes its like plunge into darkness. And then you've got some of the harder rock songs and then into the ballad land. And then there's about 45 seconds of really low, like crystallized reverb sound that is practically silence. That's kind of like a moment of composure before the final song, Good, at the end, which is a totally raw one take acoustic song. And it's to symbolize like the feeling of feeling good again after you've been through so much complicated traumatic feelings. So it's meant to kind of feel like a journey, like you push play and then you journey with me through your own experiences. And it's been really cool to see people do that and feel really impacted by it.
So what we're going to do for our listeners, we are talking with Anastasia Elliot. You can find out about her at anastasiaelliot.com. You can get merch. You can download her EP, La Petite Mort. Did I say that right?
You know, I can't really say it right. I named my album something I struggle to pronounce, but I know that the T has like a throaty French thing. It's like La Petite Mort. It's like one of those things. So
Okay.
I'm learning.
Okay, I'll do it. I'm like the guy that goes into the bakery to order a croissant, and they're like, "Can I have a croissant?"
La Petite
Like,
Mort.
La Petite Mort. So let's listen to another song on it. What song do you want to play for us?
I guess I sent you Bleach. Should we do
You
Bleach?
sent us Bleach. Let's listen to Bleach. This is Anastasia Elliot.
Let me show you all of my secrets. All the stains I've covered with bleach and everything.
with Anastasia Elliot. Anastasia, another great song.
Thank you.
Let's hear the deets on the backstory of that song.
All right. Bleach has a fun sample in it by Irving Berlin's Putting on the Ritz from a long time ago, but it's actually the taco version. So it's really cool that Irving Berlin gets to be a songwriter on this album. I had to give him a little stake in it. But this song is what I call like the cleanup of the record after all the murders that occur. I'm about to film the music video for this song. My mom is actually upstairs right now working on finalizing some of the costumes for it. But it's really a song about not caring what others think about you and like really leaning wholeheartedly into who you are.
Well, you know, one of the things that struck me when you were talking and looking at your videos and everything, I realized that it doesn't matter what genre it is. I think the most valued acts are the ones that are put in this kind of production and this kind of show on where it's so entertaining and it's so in depth and has so much symbolism. You've definitely captured that in what you're doing, and I think you go above and beyond some of the acts that are out there doing really, really well. I think you're taking it to another level, and that's pretty
Thank
impressive.
you. Thank you so much. That means a lot. I held on to this record for way too long because I was hoping to find another dream partner because I was signed to the president of Warner Brothers many years ago and had kind of the dream deal situation, and then we parted ways. But I want another deal situation that is that good, and so I'm not willing to really like enter into something where I wouldn't keep creative control. But when I released this album, and I was just like, I can't keep holding on to it. I gotta let it out. Gotta let the world see it. I then was approached by a manager that I just signed with, and so now I've got help on that end. And so I think it's just keeping my head down and doing the best possible work I can do, and making as many connections and fans as I can. Right now, my biggest complaint from any industry pitches is that I need to grow my TikTok and my social numbers, which
Don't we
I'm like,
all?
okay. So now I've brought in some help on the social media end, and I've tried to do that myself for the past year, but I can't seem to do it myself and stay very consistent with everything else that I'm doing. So I've just decided that's an area I need help in. I think the hardest thing right now for artists is how much they're expected to do by themselves. Like how much before they get backing. It's like, oh, if you can't make this successful by yourself, then nobody wants to touch you. But at the same time, I heard something not that long ago from an industry friend that said right now major labels won't even look at you twice unless you're nearing around 10 million streams, which is an insane amount of streams. The amount of money it takes to get to that amount of streams is like a lot. So it's challenging out here unless you kind of have lightning in the bottle. So that's not really the end goal for me anymore, is to be on a major. It's more to find, I can produce the visuals and the music the way that I want. It's just finding, I think, team members that can make me have help in areas like even just bodies, like because I can't clone myself, just people to help with things.
Right.
I mean, for me, the ultimate goal is I love playing live so much. The ultimate goal is to be on a big tour or headlining a great world tour myself, and getting to be in person, connecting with people as much as I can. We're currently finishing up 7 songs for a new EP and writing our second album. So in 5 years, I hope to have many crazy creative projects out there and to just be doing what I'm doing right now on a bigger scale and with a little more support.
Well, maybe Taylor Swift can open up for you.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know if I choose her as my opener though.
Who would you choose as your opener?
Oh man, some of the artists that are like would be my dream to tour with. My short list would be like Muse, The Darkness, Ghost, St. Vincent, Kate Bush.
I'm going to see The Darkness tomorrow night.
Really? Oh my gosh, they're so good. They're so
are.
good. I think we would tour great together.
I think you would be a great opener for them.
Yeah, I think we both have such a love for the dramatics and for wild, crazy vocals. And I think as a female artist right now, it's not very common for female artists to be very theatrical and dramatic. And I think men are kind of filling that lane a lot more right now than, I mean, like the 80s, you had artists like Kate Bush and Annie Lennox and Pat Benatar that were just like so dramatic and like strong vocals and taking a lot of risks. And I feel like now it's people like The Darkness and Greta Van Fleet. And my goal is to be filling that lane as a female.
What has been your career highlight and what has been your career low light?
I would say, man, that's really tough. I feel like my career highlight would have to be some of my recent shows, because since the album, I mean, I've performed for so long, but there wasn't a lot of music that was out for people to listen to. And since the album came out 2 months ago, it's been so amazing to see strangers that I don't know that have never been to my shows that come to the shows now and know the words to my songs and they can sing along. And it's like the coolest thing ever when you can look out from the stage and be like, oh my God, people are singing along. Like I just played a festival in North Carolina and there was a guy there from the UK and he knew like so many of my songs. And I was like, this is so cool. They can sing with me. Cool. And, you know, I previously, like in shows, there were people that would frequent shows and they had learned some of the words, or I have TVs on stage that will put up karaoke tracks sometimes so people can sing along, but this has been different. Like people, and just being like, people really are like listening to this. This is so cool. Career low. I would say, man, there have been so many lows. It's hard to choose. Losing my record deal was definitely one of my biggest lows, I think. And then I would say the other one was when COVID hit, because we had just started touring. We had gone to LA and New York and we were really playing a lot of shows, and that just kind of ripped. It felt like after I'd finally like started generating momentum independently, it was like just rug pulled out under our feet. And then I didn't release anything for a bit and had another investor that I was talking to that didn't work out. So there's just, this album's been through a lot of close calls and heartbreaks. Losing my label deal, I wasn't going to abandon my vision, which was to have a 13-song visual album that was at the level and quality that I wanted it to be. And so not having the funding to really do that anymore is what made me learn to be a director, to be an editor, to build sets, to make costumes, like skills that I didn't have before that and was forced to gain. And now I'm directing music videos for other bands, and it's kind of been this like whole new offshoot to my career. So I think
like you needed to be more busy.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm actually finishing up the 4th and final video for this amazing band called The Collection that have been like 2 months of my focus is these 4 videos for them. And I have to be very selective about the projects I take on because we put so much effort into making them the coolest they can be. But I think any experience that takes away from you, you can be like, all right, well, how can I still get what I want? Like, how can I still do everything I want to do? And sometimes now I'm just a master of so many weird skills.
Is The Collection in Nashville as well? Is that band down there with you?
No.
So you're doing that remotely?
They're based in North Carolina. So we shot 2 of the videos in North Carolina and 2 of them in Nashville. Depending on the concepts, we had some resources that helped us out there and some here. One of the videos is already out. It's called Medication. And it's a great song. It's a cool video I made out of this door that I had. I had ordered a door for my studio and then it didn't fit. And so I've had this door in my garage for like years. And my dad was like, what are we going to do with this door? Like, let's just get rid of it. And I was like, no, someday this will be perfect for a project. My house is like a prop house. Like, the garage drives my dad a little bit crazy. But I was like, no, this door is going to be something. And then when David and I have been friends for a while, and when he sent me this song to write the treatment for, I was like, this is it. This is the moment for the door. and the door is going to be a portal, and it's going to take him to lots of different places. And the song is about medication and antidepressants and stuff. And so this door takes him to these different magical things. And now the door is special and cool and bright red, and we'll see if it ever makes it into anything else. But yeah, that video is out, and you can watch that one. It's the Medication by the Collection.
You have a great energy about you. We can't wait to see, what's going to happen in your future. We're going to, follow what's going on in your world. And, this is really great. You got great videos, you got great music, a great line of merch. So our listeners can go to your website, anastasiaelliott.com, and buy some merch, download some music. Yeah,
I will say that some of the merch is actually AR enabled. It's the first AR enabled artist merch ever, and the t-shirts actually come to life when you scan them with your phones with videos and things that I can upload to them. And we have a puzzle too that we're about to launch, that when you scan the puzzle, it plays the music video and gives you a secret surprise at the end. So I'm always trying to come up with ways to make the merch extra fun.
Mark, he doesn't want to do it. Okay. No, that's fine. No, so Anastasia, we got this little band. He started
Steals
this
my line every week.
I'm going to steal it again. So Anastasia, you came here, we didn't know you, and we like to think that, we've earned a new friend today. So we want to thank you for taking your time. We're glad you're feeling a little bit better, and we can't wait to see what the future brings for you. And we want to thank you very much for being our friend.
Thank you. I thank you for having me. It means so much to me anytime anyone wants to support the music and chat about this work. It's truly things like this that help keep it going and spread the word. So thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you, because the experience you bring makes a lot of people happy, and that includes us.
Thank you. Please keep in touch. Let's do it again.